AskReddit by Radiant Promotion 798. What are some unsaid first date rules everyone should know? Be interested in what the other has to say. No short-worded answers. Hey, how are you? Nice to see you in person. How was your holiday? Fine. You spend it with family? Get everything you wanted? Yeah. Cool. So this place seems nice. You been here before? No. Best date ever. Don't be afraid of awkward silences. And don't overthink. Overthinking is kinda my deal. Put your damn phone down. This goes for the second, third, fourth. Be on time. This is such a pet peeve of mine. We said 5:30. I likely only know you from your pictures, so I'm nervously looking around for you at 5:28 as I walk up just to get a text, sorry, going to be 10 minutes. Now am I taking up a table at the coffee shop? Standing around for 10 minutes with my dog? Just be on time. First dates are hard enough. Be into him more than yourself, that is, don't overtalk about yourself. It's amazing how many people don't seem to get this. I've been on first dates where I could hardly get a word in because they're talking about themselves constantly. Don't trauma dump. I promise you this person doesn't want to hear about your ex. Every single first date I've been on, the girl trauma dumped. I'm glad that they feel comfortable with me, but why? Don't ask if they've been to prison, even as a joke, unless you're truly ready for the answer. In my case, she was out on bail awaiting trial. I'm a male and I look up my date's criminal public record. I find their mugshots all the time. Usually DUI or drinking related arrest. Once I found one on a sex registry list. She was a nurse. If you've met online, don't pressure the person too much with your expectations. God damn it, it's basically a stranger. You don't need to end up in a relationship with that person. Get to know them as a human being at first, without any exact ideas of the type of your potential future relationship. I've been in the online dating scene for the last year or two since my divorce. Lol, holy shit, can things be different in person after messaging, talking, texting with someone you met online? You should listen, at least, as much as you speak. If you are 30 minutes into the date and you don't know anything about them, it's time to shift the focus of the conversation towards them. No murdering. This is a big one. I've been murdered twice on first dates. Stay safe out there. I think that the first rule on your first date is no isolating, meaning don't take her on a hike in the woods for a first date, you serial killer. You don't want to see my chainsaw collection in my dark, unfinished basement from the 1800s? I thought you were different, JK. Don't try to fuck. If it happens, that's great, but everybody's gonna have a better time if nobody has a hard agenda. Yes. Just don't expect anything. You don't owe anything to the other person and the other person doesn't owe you anything on a first date. Just be honest. Sounds simple. Many seem to have a problem with this one. If you can't or don't want to show up, let the other person know well in advance. Don't be a ghoster. Don't get sloppy shit-faced drunk. I know a few girls who broke that rule. It's one of my biggest regrets. Was in a dark place and finally downloaded Tinder after a divorce. Got drunk before and while there. Ugh. It was a sloppy mess. I apologized profusely the next day. She was cool, and understandably, we went our separate ways. For the love of God, don't insist on driving her anywhere if she says no. I had an ex who insisted on taking the subway home instead of having me drive her home after dates. Turned out she didn't want to be seen getting dropped off by a dude. Conservative parents. Don't show up looking like you just rolled out of bed. Or like your date was just one of the errands you were running that day. This one is mostly for women. But don't bring your fucking friend if you never mentioned that she was coming before. Had that happen to me and it was clear both girls just wanted a free dinner, so I excused myself to the bathroom and never spoke to the girl again. I'm the type of person that wouldn't even bother with a bullshit excuse. I'd just straight up say, I'm not dating your friend too, and leave. Be yourself. If you are hungry, eat. Please look like the photo you sent. Unless you've confirmed it's a one night stand, maybe don't suggest Netflix and chill or other variants as the first date. Man or woman, don't go over to someone's house if you don't know them. I had a dude pull this with me like, oh, I'm really more of a stay at home and watch movies type of guy when I invited him out for coffee, dinner, anything. And 1, it came off as okay, this guy is just interested in sex, and 2, I'm not going over to any stranger's house regardless of how well we clicked beforehand. Come on now. I tried again to ask for a public date spot, he insisted on me coming over, and that was the end of it. When I said no thank you, I got a bunch of increasingly confused and then desperate texts. Like, dude, if I didn't think you were a serial killer before, I definitely do after the 5th we could have really hit it off, don't be so guarded text. Effort is sexy. If you can't put any effort in for the first date, I can promise you sex with you isn't going to do anything for me. I'm not a pussy delivery service. Don't eat messy foods. Fuck it. Get wings. Be vulnerable. Better yet, go somewhere spicy. Some heat takes the edge off and makes for a fun story. Never trust a silent fart. And if, as a woman, you need to fart, check to make sure the double date isn't in the backseat. Embrace the possibility of forming a new connection without rigid expectations. Can't believe I have to say this, but don't expect a kiss on the first date. Or expect to sleep together on the first date. I had one guy who kept pressuring me to fuck him behind the restaurant building we were eating at on our first date, in broad daylight where cars could drive by and see us. What the hell? Always give your lady an out, let her sit closest to the exit, make all statements. Do you want to come to my place after dinner or do you have to get up early tomorrow? Also, just a little tip, and something I've only had done a few times, but is super helpful, is to send a list of food options, menu, so you both don't feel rushed wherever you go and can make sure any dietary restrictions are met. Thoughtful. Just damn thoughtful. Are you busy later?